Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is LaDonna for those of you who are new, and I am a new homeschooling mom. And today I want to talk about our second week of homeschool. So this is an update video. I'm going to try to give updates every week or every other week, but today it just happens I have the time, so I just thought I'd bring a few updates, what I've learned and what I've already added or possibly even changed. So let's just go ahead and jump right in. You guys heard me last week talk about what I started to see that really wasn't working for my fifth grader was his history curriculum. So I just decided to take his packet and my daughter's packet, and we've just made it a group study. So what we are using for history are the life packs by Alpha and Omega Publication. And if you're not familiar with the life packs, basically this is a grab and go curriculum. It is student led. They have a unit. They have 10 units for the whole year, and they just complete each unit at a time, and basically they read and answer some questions, and they have self-tests, and then they have unit tests. So anyway, my daughter, hers is history and geography, and she's third grade. It is not as intense as the fifth grade book that my son has right here. There is a whole lot of reading, a lot of information, and I just noticed he was starting to dread it whenever we were making our way to history. We do history and science every day. We live in Missouri, and we are required to have a certain amount of hours. So anyway, long story short, I just decided to combine the two, and it has been wonderful. So what I do is we all get together as a family, as a group, and I read through my son's, and we have questions, and I write on the board, and we just kind of talk through what it is we've discussed. And then the same thing goes for my daughters, and it's going really well. So that is a fantastic decision. I'm so excited that we decided to do that. So moving on, in our afternoon basket, we have an afternoon basket as well as a morning basket, but in our afternoon basket, we are learning about the presidents. And basically what we're doing is I've got some books, and we're just going through each president. I'm hoping that they can memorize the presidents. I'm not going to force or push that. I'm just hoping that through repetition, it will come naturally. But what I added, I saw this really cool presidential journal on Instagram. It was made by a homeschooling mom, and I just went ahead and purchased it and downloaded it, and I made 2 copies for each of my kiddos. So I just have a binder, and I'll show you the inside, but basically this is what it looks like, my U.S. presidential journal, and it goes through each president. So for example, George Washington, I don't know if you can see that, just ask some general information. And then the next page is another page where they can color the president, they can sketch the president, and then just share some fun things that they've learned. So it is current. It goes all the way up to our current president, and she said she plans to update it after the upcoming election. So anyway, I just thought that this would kind of help with that. I just kind of felt like something was missing, and I wasn't really sure what we needed, but when I saw it, I was like, this is exactly what we need. So I've got one for my son, one for my daughter, and I just kind of thought it would be another way just to have those memories, and also for record keeping. So that is something that I've added. I think I paid $4 for that. It's through Etsy. I'm not exactly sure about the name, but I can look it up and try to link it in the comment box. So anyway, I think I also mentioned last week about our English curriculum, which we are still loving. We are doing BJU Press. This is my teacher's manual for my daughter. She's in third grade, and then I have one for my son. And if you're not familiar with BJU Press, they have, let me back up. This curriculum is set up for about 150 school days. So the curriculum is broken up into 16 chapters, and they alternate between grammar and writing. So this week we finished our first chapter, so it takes about 2 weeks to get through one chapter, and it has just been wonderful. I cannot say it enough. The teacher's manual is amazing. Everything I need is here. The lessons, they take us about anywhere between 30 to 45 minutes depending on what it is, but what I've noticed is that, excuse me, we just ate lunch. I guess I probably should have waited a few minutes before I just jumped in here, but what I've noticed is, if one day seems to be a little bit more intense with the concept, the next day is a little bit lighter. So I have enjoyed just seeing that rhythm, that pattern, so to speak. It has been really good, and both of my children have responded really well to it. So this is something that I teach. So while I'm teaching English to one of my children, the other is doing math, and we use teaching textbooks, and that has been wonderful. We're loving teaching textbooks as well. But I just can't say this enough. So this week, our focus was on sentences, so the focus was grammar. Next, or this chapter, I should say, not week. The first chapter was sentences. Well, chapter 2 will be writing. So this will be our first experience with writing in this curriculum. So I'm kind of anxious to see how that's going to go. I'll be sure to give you guys an update about that as well after we complete our first week. I don't want to say anything just yet, but anyway, that's how that's going. We were super excited about that. My kids even took their first chapter test. Fantastic. I can't even say that enough. Just the retention is there, the understanding of concepts is there. You've got that one-on-one and that gentle approach, and just the resource itself is just amazing. Very well planned and structured, so we're really enjoying that. I'll probably say that every week. At least I hope that I can, once we walk through this next chapter and kind of get a taste and a feel for the writing. So anyway, moving on. Another thing that I really added it for my third grader. I kind of noticed, especially with her math, she was getting confused with her seasons and her days of the week. So I just went online. I found this for free at teacherspayteachers.com, but it's just a daily calendar journal. As you can see, it's got a month right here with all the days, and then it's got the different months, the days of the week, and the year, and how many days have you been in school, and then a place value thing, and then the weather. And I just put it in one of these little, I don't even know what this is, but like a dry erase packet where she can go through, fill it out in the mornings, and I can wipe it off and we can reuse it, just trying to save some paper there. But it was a free resource, and she's really enjoying this. And in the back, I just kind of showed her, gave her a list of each day of the week, a list of the months, and then seasons. I'm sorry about the glare there, but this was a free download as well, and it's going really good. I've already seen an improvement just with her understanding of just the order in which the days of the week fall, the months of the year, and even the season. So my son really, he's 10. He understands all of those things, but just for the sake of nobody feeling left out, I printed one off for him as well. Now his is a little bit more, his is different. He's got a lot more writing he has to fill out, but he does it super quick. This was a free download as well at Teachers Pay Teachers. So we do that in the morning. Our school day starts at 7:50. We are early risers in our house, so it's not a problem for us. My kids get up about 6:30. They get moving. So at 7:30, they've eaten breakfast, they're dressed, their beds are made. David has to empty the dishwasher, Annabeth has to clean the counters in the bathroom, and they're piddling ready to start. So that's actually been good for them to work on while they're just kind of waiting on me to get myself together so that we can start the school day. So moving on, the next thing I want to show you that I added, I think I shared if it wasn't in last week's update video, it was in one of the curriculum videos. But I had shared that I had purchased the Carhartt Family Learning Reading Skills for each of my children. I had gotten the third grade for Annabeth, and for those of you who don't know, my third grader, which is my daughter, my youngest, she is a reluctant and struggling reader. We are doing all about reading and other amazing resources, and I have already seen a tremendous improvement, but I just noticed that the third grade level was becoming a little much for her. So I went ahead and purchased the second grade. Look, she's doing it on her own. I mean, she's already completed a couple of the lessons, and it's going really great. So I'm hoping that once she completes this, we can just move her on to the 3rd grade level and just keep moving forward with that. So we've added this. And then also I want to share with you, I had purchased Explode the Code for both of my children. I was very unfamiliar with Explode the Code, and then just with everything with you know, COVID and school being canceled this past year, when I bought the books, I just went ahead and bought the level that the level of the grade that they were in last year. I just wanted to kind of use it as a little bit of a review, a refresher. Anyway, both of my kiddos love it. This is something where, you know, if I have to spend more time in English with one of my kiddos, I can get the other one to pull this out, and it just works really great if you're just needing something else to kind of help with that time management between subjects. Anyway, this is David's book. He just completed this book, and he loves it. I did go ahead and get the 4.5, and then I also have the 5 and the 5.5. If he doesn't complete all of those, that's okay. That might be something we do in the summer, Lord willing, or you know, save it for the next school year. But he will start the 4.5 this week, and again, both of my kiddos love it. This is an inexpensive resource. If you have elementary children, I can't recommend this enough. This is just amazing. I have just seen a huge improvement, especially in my daughter's, just her phonics ability, and just being able to read and work through the sounds, and even her spelling. I don't know if people talk about that a lot in here, but there is some spelling in here, and they have to be able to spell the words, and that has just been amazing as well. I've just seen her, without even thinking, the words that they have gone over, she's able to spell them right there without, you know, going back in the book and looking at previous lessons. So it's just been really good for our family. So that is Explode the Code. Now, what do I want to show you now? We're having a lot of fun with science. I have the life packs for both of my children too, because again, science is one of those things that we have to do every day, and it's going really well. This isn't something I will be able to combine though, because Annabeth is learning about the human body, and David is learning about living things. So right now his focus is plants, and I think he's going to move on to animals. Annabeth is still on the human body. So it's good. The science is not as intense as the history, so it is still working really well for the two of them to be able to do it on their own. So it's really good. The content is fantastic. This does have a Christian worldview. So we're pulling in the Bible. We're having a lot of discussions about God, and it's just going really well for us. Now, I will say I am learning about my children and myself, like they are auditory learners. So I think next year, if we can find something where science can be a group, that might be even better for us. So I'm kind of already on the lookout, kind of getting a feel of what's available, just to see if that's the direction the Lord wants us to go in. So anyway, science is going really good. We did our first craft this week, and it was a lot of fun. I'm not a crafty person at all. I really look up to all of the amazing moms who are and have the time to plan and prepare, but this mama does not. So when I was purchasing curriculum, and I bought David and Annabeth's handwriting curriculum and their typing curriculum from Good and the Beautiful, I just went ahead and picked up their creative arts and crafts project book. This was really inexpensive. I think maybe $10 or so, but I don't know if you can see just some of the really cool stuff that's in there. Anyway, we used it for the first time this week. Really fun. My kiddos had a good time. We did it at the end of the week this Friday, which I am hoping, I have a time-lapse video. I'm hoping to connect to this video to show you how our craft went. But we did the changing of the trees. Since we are entering a new season, yes, this is the one that we did, the changing of the trees, and you can kind of see it right there. they really enjoyed it. They had a lot of fun. It was just a great way to end the week, and some really good family time. I just kind of turned on some music, and we had all of our crafts in the middle, and we got to chit chat, and Dad got involved. It was just really good for us. So I'm looking forward to doing more in that book. We also had our first poetry and tea time. So I love tea. So when I started learning about the homeschool world, I just got so excited about the concept of poetry and tea, and I jumped all in. So I am from the deep South, and I have teacups and teapots and mix match china and all of those really fun girly things. So anytime I have the opportunity to pull it out, because I do use it, I am all on board. So we did our first poetry and tea time as a family. I have a time-lapse video to show you. I hope I can connect it. You guys know that I'm technically challenged, but anyway, I'm going to try to connect it to the end of this video so you guys can get a feel, and maybe even a few of our pictures from the first day of school. If I can't, please forgive me, but just know I'm trying so hard to figure all this out. But anyway, it was great. We loved it, and I want to share with you my favorite poetry book so far. Now, some of you are going to think this is really cheesy, and that's okay. I'm kind of the queen of cheese, but I am loving it. I found this book on sale for like $9. It was through Amazon, and I just couldn't resist. And it's already a treasure, but it's The Poetries of Mr. Rogers, A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. And y'all, they are just so comforting. I don't even know if that's the right word, but whenever I open the book and the few that I have read through, I have just felt so safe. I have felt just the comfort that only Mr. Rogers can bring. I didn't grow up on Mr. Rogers. I didn't start watching him until later in life, and I know that probably sounds weird, but I just love the fact that Mr. Rogers is calm. He's a teacher, and he's not afraid to explore all the different things that children love. And of course, just the theme of who he is, you know, loving your neighbor and loving the world that you're in and loving yourself. And anyway, his message is just a very gospel-centered message, and it's so encouraging. So anyway, I was excited to be able to read through this, and if you're looking for more poetry books, this is a must-have. Again, I found it on Amazon, and my kiddos love it. Even my 10-year-old, he listens, and I just think that when you can find a resource like that, it is just really invaluable. The pictures, the illustrations are super cute. And as you can see, the poems aren't difficult. Now, these are his poems, so even my reluctant reader can read them. So it's really fun, a really special resource, and we've enjoyed it. So moving on, another thing that I added, which I had purchased this. I purchased this a couple weeks before school started. I have a 10-year-old boy who is growing, and we're starting to have those conversations. So I was just looking for an age-appropriate resource that would just kind of help with these discussions. I think you all know where I'm going with this, but anyway, he tends to get finished with some of his school sooner than his sister. So what I decided to do was I'm just going to give him this book now and let him read a chapter a day. And if the chapters are super short, you're fixing to see the book when I show it to you. But if he has any questions or anything, we can just talk about it. He can talk about it with his dad or talk about it with me. My son's really comfortable with the both of us. Obviously, I encourage him to talk to his dad because his dad is a male. But anyway, if for whatever reason Dad's not home or we don't have the time, that's okay. We'll talk about it. But anyway, I found this book. It's called Guy Stuff, the Body Book for Boys. Now, this is intended for the age recommendation is 8 years old and older. 8 I think is a little young. I think 9 would be okay if you're already starting to have those conversations, but my son is 10 years old, and he's already starting to have acne and those kinds of things, if you know what I mean. So anyway, it's just right for him. Like I said, he's only reading a section a day, which, like, if you can see the first body basics, and let me just show you, this is 4 pages. So I mean, and you can kind of see it's not even, they're not even that long. And then it goes on to the next one. So some of the chapters are a little bit longer than others, and some of them aren't, and they're broken down into sections in each chapter. So anyway, all that to say, and it's been good. I noticed when I gave it to him, and I just said, okay, I want you to go read this section, he's okay. Okay. So I can tell that he is already having some questions answered. We've already had a few discussions. So anyway, I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm just, if something works for me, I want to share it with you. And maybe you don't know how to have this conversation, or maybe you need something to kind of encourage the conversation. This is really good. This was an Amazon find, and it's been going well for us. So anyway, those are my updates. How much time do we have? Oh, I want to hurry up. I don't want to keep these longer than 20 minutes, but it just happens. I just enjoy chatting with you all. Some of the things that I've learned in 2 weeks. Some days are longer than others. Some days we finish early, some days we finish late, and we had 2 of those days this week, and I just had to take a deep breath and embrace them. I think just like with everything else in life, we have to be flexible. So I've learned that. The other thing that I've learned is sometimes our kiddos show up to work and sometimes they don't. And the best thing that I can do when they don't show up to work is to not push. And with that said, I will go on to say that I've also learned that my attitude can affect the day just as much as their attitude can. So I have tried to be more mindful of that this week. Obviously, I am praying every single day for our homeschool life and for my children, and just for our time together to be spirit-led. I don't want to do anything out of the flesh, but I'm just praying for more gentleness, more understanding, and more compassion. So just some fun things that I've learned. Anyway, thanks for stopping by. I hope that your homeschool's going well. If you're new here, come back. I hope we can spend some more time together. And look, I just want to pray for you and for your homeschool. All right, so please join me in prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, I just thank you so much for today, and I thank you for all of the mamas and just the parents who have a desire, Lord, to honor you in this calling of homeschool. Lord, I specifically pray for those that are watching and listening. God, I pray that you would encourage them and strengthen them. Lord, I pray that you would give them direction, and God, I pray that you would give them wisdom, Lord, as they teach and help and love their children. Lord, we thank you so much for Jesus and for his love, and God, for his example. Lord, his example of just sacrifice and selflessness. And God, I just pray as parents you would help us to follow it. We love you. We thank you for Jesus. We thank you for the cross. And we pray all of these things in his saving name. Amen. All right, friends, enjoy your Sunday. I'll see you next week. Bye.